Desire is a good thing, yes? Fresh desire that you haven't trampled to death with doubt, yes. A desire that you believe feels good, doesn't it? A desire that you doubt doesn't feel so good, does it? Because you have split energy. You want it but. So your desire is attracting energy to you and through you, but your doubt is preventing it from flowing, and that's what negative emotion is. It's that restriction of the flow of the consciousness. So we always ask, are you knowing what you are wanting? And often you say yes, and often you do know. Often you have, through the contrast that you have been living, identified what you want. And often what you want, you are already living. You're sort of living happily ever after regarding this and this and this and this. But there is always something new that your life has helped you to decide that you want that has not yet come into fruition, because that's always the way it is. There will always be another desire that is on its way to that full manifestation that you want. And so often our physical friends stand in discomfort during that gap between the defining of the desire and the full realization of the desire. And in their discomfort that it hasn't come yet, they slow it way down, and they provide unnecessary discomfort to themselves simply by the awareness that what they want has not yet come about. And it's an interesting thing as we visit with our physical friends, because we want to say to you, if you didn't doubt that it was coming, it would already be here. But you doubt that because there are things that you didn't even realize that you wanted that came. So why won't this thing that you really know that you want, why won't it come more quickly? And we say, it is coming. And if you could just relax into the rhythm that it is a natural unfolding, so that you were not holding yourself in that awareness. You see, whatever it is you're giving your attention to, you are emanating a vibrational signal about. Every thought that you think radiates. That's why law of attraction is responding so powerfully to all vibrations. Everything is vibrating. Law of attraction is sorting the vibrations out, bringing those that are same together. So can you feel how the desire for something and the doubt about it are different frequencies, even though it's the same subject? And every subject really is two subjects, the wanted and the absence of the wanted. So you will get better and better at being able to tell in any moment whether you are in this moment sending thoughts and therefore vibration, which is being answered by law of attraction, about the wanted side of the equation or about the missing of what's wanted side of the equation. So when you say, I want this thing that has not yet come about, you're introducing a desire for it and a vibration in its opposite, and that split energy is sort of like a tug of war. Can you imagine two very strong men tugging on each end of a rope, that tug of war scenario, and they are equal in strength and stamina, and they're not going anywhere. And if you're a spectator, you wish one of them would just wimp out so the other one could win, because it's really sort of unpleasant to watch that tug of war going on. And you have often those same sort of tug of war where you want it but. And we want to say to you, if the wanted was a little more often offered than the but, then you're moving in the direction of what is wanted, but it's tense. If you just stop the but, you'd move there quickly, you see. So as we talk to you about this vibrational world that you live in and the vibrational being that you are, sometimes you are resistant even to that thought in the beginning, because you are accustomed to noticing, to witnessing, to seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching the manifestations of things. And we get that. We get why you are so physically oriented, because you live here in this magnificent manifestation of thought. And there has been so much momentum about you living here now, even before you got here. There has been a trajectory Esther has found that new word, and she likes it so much because it's like the path of least resistance is the trajectory that is likely. So when you realize that you were consciousness before you came into this physical body, and that there was thought from that non-physical part of you about that which you are here and now, there was this path of least resistance, this plan of living happily ever after, of being a creator, a deliberate creator, of coming forth in your physical body into an environment of wonderful variety from which you could come to your personal conclusions about what you prefer. And from that non-physical vantage point, you knew that once a preference was born within you, that all you had to do was focus on the preference. But the variety of your environment has confused a lot of you. You've become so proficient at your objective consideration of things. So you're considering wanted and unwanted. You tend to, as humans, sort manifestations into piles of good piles and bad piles, good people and bad people, good politics and bad politics, good religion and bad religion. You sort of want to categorize everything in this sort of judgment of whether you want it or not, which is a good thing. But when you begin to push against the part that you don't want, that's when it starts to be a detrimental experience for you. Because you cannot push against something without giving your attention to it. And you can't give your attention to something without practicing a vibration about it. And as you practice a vibration about it, it's part of your vibrational mix. So wanted and unwanted is going on far more than you mean for it to in your vibration, which keeps you in that seemingly paralyzed position. And then you come to all kinds of, we love you very much, bless your hearts, false, flawed premises about why things aren't happening for you the way you want them to. You make such incredible stuff up. Instead of just saying, well, I want it, and that's one thought, but I doubt it, and that's another thought, so I'm holding myself in no progress relative to this because I don't have the discipline to focus singularly upon what I want. I seem to think about what I want, and I don't have it, I want it, I don't have it, I want it, I don't have it. I want it, I don't have it, and I want it, and I don't have it, and I want it, and they have it, and that annoys me. And I want it and I don't have it, and I want it and I don't have it, and I haven't had it for a long time, and that annoys me. And so what happens is, as you are focusing without any personal discipline that is within you because you're utilizing your guidance system, and you can tell whether you are focused towards something you want or in opposition to it, then you develop these patterns of pushing against. And when you live in a universe that is about attraction, when you live in a universe that is all about inclusion, when you shout no at something that you don't want, it's like shouting yes. Because the universe is not listening to the nuance of yes or no. The universe is listening to the activated vibration. When you turn on that signal, the signal that you're pointed at comes back to you, you see. And so, as you stand in your physical body, sort of confused by the variety, somehow thinking that it is to your advantage to weigh all of the details, not realizing that the introduction of a lot of that criteria just jumbles your signal and makes you less likely to attract to yourself what you want with any efficiency or clarity or speed, and then the stuff you make up is interesting. It's karma, you say. I must have done something in a past life that is hindering me now. And we say, you've got to be kidding. Law of attraction is not responding to what you offered yesterday. Law of attraction is responding to what you're offering now. Now, it is logical that what you're offering now would be similar to what you offered yesterday because you develop these patterns of thought. But you are not being hindered by past life thoughts. It is not karmic. It's practiced vibration. And it's practiced vibration that for the most part you really don't mean to practice. It's creation by default. You're thinking about stuff you don't want, practicing it until you've got such a strong vibration going on about it that it becomes part of your experience. And once it becomes part of your experience and part of the experiences of those who surround you, then now you're observing these things, and now it's really part of your vibration. So when we talk about deliberate creation, do you like to talk about that? We do. When we're talking about deliberate creation, we're talking about focusing deliberately. And we're talking about focusing upon what you want deliberately and being able to discern which end of that vibrational stick you're actually focused upon. Are you focused upon the dollars you want, or are you focused upon the absence of them? And the way you can tell is by the way you feel. Because when you're focused in opposition to who you really are and what you really want, you feel the discord, and that's what negative emotion is every time. When you're focused upon what you want, who you are, then you feel the resonance with all of that, and that's what good feeling emotion is. So we can't resist talking to you about your guidance system, because we know the trajectory that you launched when you made the decision to come into this physical body. Not one of you said, I'll go forth and I'll bang around in my physical body and I'll discern, because it's natural that we all do that, what I prefer, but I'll hold myself in constant chronic dissonance with my desire as I objectively view the world. Not one of you said that. You said, I'll go forth and I'll use my guidance and I'll sift and sort and I'll come to conclusions, and then I'll focus upon those conclusions, and I'll have the benefit of the energy that creates worlds at my back flowing to me and through me for the full actualization, realization, manifestation of the things that I am choosing for my personal creative experience. That's what you said. And we've come to remind you that that's what you know. And we notice that all day long you notice that you know it, but sometimes you don't realize what you're noticing that you know. In other words, if you really remembered what we're telling you here, then you would not tolerate negative emotion. When you thought a thought that was detrimental to you, meaning it doesn't feel good, one of those critical thoughts, when you're looking at something and calling it wrong or bad, when you are discounting your own value or someone else's, and you feel that negative emotion, if you were really in tune with who you are, whenever you would do that, you would feel how off the trajectory, how off the true path of who you are being in the moment of that thought.